Thank you to the Campot GC who emailed me with a list of questions, and I thought I would share the answers with all our service portfolio groups. So they wanted to learn how they can clean up the widget area. Again, if you go into your Customize, you find Widgets. Depending on the theme you're using, there are different areas for the widgets. And then if I click on the little downward arrow, it's going to give me the option to simply just remove. And depending on the layout that you want, it actually might make sense just to get rid of all of them. Remember, you can add them again, but sometimes a really plain, clean interface is a little bit easier. They also wanted to know how can they add a static page. This means the front page of their site has all of the static or the same information that they think their readers will need. So again, this is also in Customize, static front page, add, and then I'm going to add a brand new page that I'll edit in a little bit. So I give it a name, I click add. And this is going to become the brand new home page. They've not lost any of the content. It is all still there. It just means whenever the reader goes to their site, they will have a front page to check out. So now when I go into all pages under my dashboard, the page that I just added is there. I'm going to select edit. And next, I'm going to show you how we can use the Divi Builder plugin. And if you've not used that, there's another tutorial. I'll leave the link to it in the comments for this video that shows you how to add that free plugin. And this is going to let us do some interesting things design-wise. So depending on how long you've been using the Divi Builder, I actually prefer, and I'll click the option to return to the standard builder. Again, this is a preference thing. I find the older version is a little bit easier. So you have these different modules and layouts that you can load. So I'm actually going to use this because I think it's a great shortcut. If I go into pre-made layouts, I can select a template, and then we can go in and we can customize and we can add in the information that we would like to use. So just giving you a quick look at the wide variety of pre-made layouts, and then we'll select one and we'll get started. And once we've selected one, use this layout, it will load that page. And the interesting thing is it already has all of these custom what are called modules, and the 3 lines, every time I click the 3 lines, I can go in and I can edit the content directly. So I can change the title, the subheading text, as well as the buttons. So buttons are also kind of a great feature. You can add that module all on their own, and essentially it just creates sort of clickable content. So I'm changing the text, and then later on I would add the URL that button would take us to. So if I click that little eye in the middle, I can preview and I can look at what it would look like on a Mac or a tablet or an iPhone, and that's given me the idea to swap the subheading and the text. Okay, great, I think I like the look of that. But I might want to go in and change some of the other features. So I can add a scroll button, I can change the size of the text, I can change the colors that are used. And I also had a question about Flickr integration. So if I want to use images from Flickr in my design, the most important thing is that when I search, I am searching for images that I have the rights to use. So I can check. This has no copyright, so I can download this image, and now I can add it into my design. So again, Flickr has amazing photos. Just please make sure that you're doing the right thing and you're checking the copyright. I also want to show you that aside from downloading, you can also go to the share arrow and get the embed code. So there is a code module if you wanted to embed a slider of images. That's good for you to know. But we downloaded that image, and now I want to swap that in. So again, Divi is great. It will give you interesting placeholders to start with. But then, of course, you can download your own and then go back in and you can customize with Divi. So I've added that image. And now I can click the eye to see what that will look like. Okay, that's getting a little bit closer, but I like to try and match the most prominent color from the image with some of the other features. So that red house That's a really nice, bright, bold color, and I want to try to make the rest of my design mirror that. So I'm in the Design tab here, and if I go back to Content, and I scroll down, I can customize that color. Just to show you, here's what it looks like with green. No, I don't really like the look of that, so let me pair it with the exact same red that's in that image. That looks better. So then, of course, I can also change the colors on both of those buttons, and then the design really starts to come together. And let's take a look at what those the colors look like all together. Great, so nice contrasting colors there for us to work with, but I also want to go back to the overall design of my portfolio itself and clean that up. So in your portfolio, some themes will allow you the option of having a customized background image. Again, if you're not seeing that on your portfolio, you might want to change themes. So in Customize, this one does have a background image. I can see it right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Pexels.com, that's P-E-X-E-L-S, and I am going to search for pattern. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a nice sparse, clean pattern that I will use then as my background image on my portfolio. So what I'm trying to do right now is have a really nice, clean layout. And this is sort of, again, you can go through the different pages, but I really like this design. It's nice, it's clean. So once I add that as my background image, the focus of the eye is going to be on the content there. So I will save, I like that. And then what I can do is I can go back into Divi, and I can also focus on making sure the content is nice and readable by changing the color background of one of my blocks of content. So this is the module that's going to have all of my social network settings. So those of you who are working with a GC where you want them to follow a certain Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram account, you can go in and add that. Just adding in the logo from my group, and because that's transparent, that's going to look nice with a different background. So if I take a step back, you see me right now going into the individual modules and editing those. But Divi is really powerful because not only does it give you the option to customize each module, but it also gives you the option to customize the block that the module sits in. So if you see sort of those turquoise rows, that's what we're going to go to next. Because you can see, I can't really read the text, so I want to give that a nice background so that that text really comes to life. And before I do that, I'm just showing you I can drag and drop in the modules and try to play around with the layout that way too, because I didn't really like how the layout looked before. So I'm just clicking that eye, and I can see is the design getting a little bit closer to what I like. I'm still not happy with it, so I can continue to drop the different modules around. I can add in different modules, and I think to create a sense of balance, that's what I'm going to do. So when I add a new module, it will ask how many columns I'd like. So I'm going to drag those in. I'll add another one. And this way I can have a little bit of a more balanced layout. Again, you can continue to customize as much as you would like. And when I click preview, that will give me a new tab to look at, or I can just go visit site, scroll down. Is it closer to what I wanted it to be? Yep, okay, it's getting a little bit closer, but like I said earlier, I want that text to be easy for anybody to read, and right now it isn't. So if I click that blue rows 3 lines, I'm going to change the background for that whole block of modules. So at first I'll take a look at what a black background would look like, but now the text on my logo Now I can't read that, so I think that I need to go with something just a touch lighter. So let's take a look at if we change that background to, if I just sort of pull the transparency bar, we've got a little bit of more of a sort of transparent background. Let's see how that looks. Okay, getting a little bit closer. And I think for now we are just about happy with that. The important thing to remember is you can change the look of the portfolio as many times as you would like. So don't feel like if you've gone in and you've done some customization that, oh no, this is going to be it forever. The great power with these tools is that you can jump in, play around as often as you would like.